it's not about how fast you get there, it ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Hi, my name is Garrett Taira. I hit the lottery in rare medical conditions, chronic intestinal pseudo-obstruction. Basically, I don't eat and all my nutrition comes from an IV. Some people say I'm an underdog, and damn right I am. How about a share? Will I become a famous actor and dancer? God, I hope so. Let's get started. About myself, I am an actor, dancer, YouTuber. I have 2 channels, Krewski and my name, Garrett Taira. The first one, we do some really wild shit, you guys. Like Cards Against Humanities in real life and The Morning After. Don't watch that. But my other channel, let's talk more about that. I do also funny videos, and let me load this, that's better. See your beautiful faces. All right, and also I document what it's like living with a rare medical condition. So a little more on that. As a kid, I was diagnosed with a rare medical condition called chronic intestinal pseudo-obstruction. Basically, that is a rare GI motility disorder. So that means all of my nutrition comes from IV. Also wild, right? Yeah. So, okay. But what I want to talk to you guys about is my mentality through those situations. Growing up as a kid, I was always in and out of the hospital. I think there were some times where it seemed like I spent the majority of my year there. But despite that, I had a very happy childhood, and I wanted to talk to you about how being positive despite circumstances can really affect your lives. Okay, so let me see. Last year, let's talk about last year. So last year, I had just gotten off a huge high, not like a high, but just like a huge dopamine high, right? I knocked off a TED Talk, and that had been something that had been on my bucket list for a while, so it felt really good, right? And I think I had pushed it a little too hard because I ended up back in the hospital right after. And it was actually the second time that year, and it was only in February. So to add to things, I had a business that had been falling apart, and my grandfather was in the hospital. So not exactly like the most ideal circumstance to be in. And to be totally honest, I was starting to feel very depressed. Things were kind of falling out of control, and I didn't really know what to do, and I knew I had to pick up the pieces, but I didn't know how I would do that because I was in the hospital bed feeling like crap. So the only thing I could do was focus on things that were going well and focus on getting better. That year, I ended up spending a total of around like 3 months in the hospital, like total in and out, and I had gone through around 6 operations. My grandfather had also passed, and we had started taking care of our grandmother. So, okay, why am I telling you guys this? That was a pretty difficult time. And long story short, I was able to make the best of things, despite the circumstances. So, actually while I was there, I was able to make a few videos to make the best of things. Mike, could you help me out?
Roll up to the spot, feeling real good. Think you gon' touch, you better not, my homies real hood. Been a minute, but I'm back with that rap shit. The mixtape flow, you can find it on that bitch. Up in here, y'all gon' make me lose my cool. Up in here, up in here. The morning rising sun.
Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. Come on in. Welcome to my crib. Let me show you around. Here, we have a state-of-the-art cooling device. Cools just about anything that's not hot. Oh, just about.
Hey, Garrett.
Hey, this is my girlfriend, Dominique.
I'm your nurse.
You're so funny.
I need your urine sample.
What?
I need your urine sample.
I don't think you have a urine sample here.
Oh, here it is. I must have peed in it earlier.
What? No. I got it. Why don't we build a boat that parts the sea? What? What? Yeah, so there's some of my videos. Thanks.
Yeah. I've not seen those before.
So that was just the tip of the iceberg. We had also made a Crazy Rich Asians parody that had gotten us published on a lot of big sites, and I also ended up seeing the movie premiere with Wong Fu, if you guys know who they are.
Oh.
So between those times, I had managed to pick up the pieces, and I had turned what was a pretty crap situation into possibilities that had led me to a higher quality of life. So, and none of this would have been possible if I wasn't able to bounce back from adversity quicker and quicker each time. Going through my spark notes, give me a second. All right, so it's a big mental game, guys. Every time I went back in the hospital that year, I had gotten the feeling that this was going to be the time that broke me. And that's a crap feeling, but when I was in it, I had told myself, this isn't so bad, things could always be worse. So mental health is the thing that's going to keep you in the game the longest. It's, I think as college students, and I think as Asian Americans in general, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to succeed, right? Is that like a pretty clear thing? Yeah? Yeah. And thank you. And especially when growing up Asian American, your mom wants you to, and your parents wants you to be like a doctor, or a lawyer, or a doctor. But, so, how do we stay positive when shit hits the fan? Hopefully these things that I'm about to share with you, some of them you can take back. Maybe now's not the season for it and it'll help you later, but hopefully you can have something to hang on to. Self-awareness. So self-awareness is probably one of the most key factors in being able to take situations and make them better, right? So if you know yourself, right, you'll be able to know how you react to things, and you'll be able to fix that from within, right? And also, I think someone had said it earlier, but being nice to yourself, self-love, right? That's a big thing. You guys know what it means to be your own best friend. Kind of, maybe not. By that response, I'm guessing no. So being your own best friend is like, how do you talk to yourself, right? Is the voice inside your head rooting you on, or is the voice inside your head saying things like, that's not possible, I don't know about that, right? So, okay, every subject is also two subjects, right? Can you think about that? So, what are the two subjects? Does anybody know? No? Okay, cool. So, positivity, the positive side of things, and the negative side of things, right? So you guys have to really make a conscious decision about how you feel. And sometimes maybe some of you guys are thinking, oh, well, this is the reality, right? But would you rather be right, or would you rather feel good? I'll let that one sink in for a little bit. Does that make sense? Like, is it worth feeling a certain way, even though maybe technically you're right? Or is it better to take actions in your thoughts to make you feel better about the circumstance, so you can move on? Dropping bombs over here, guys. All right, so how are your thoughts, right? How are your beliefs? Are your thoughts and beliefs, are they serving you? Or are they hurting you? So that's just something to think over. The good thing about it, though, is like no one is really in control of how you feel, right? So that's, for most of you guys, that puts the power back into your hands. And a big thing that I want to push is deliberate thinking. And that's like a new thing that's been going around. And it's basically, are you thinking your thoughts, or are your thoughts thinking you? Like, are you running around on like emotional autopilot and letting the circumstance dictate how you feel? Or people and friends, like if you're feeling up or if you're feeling down, right? Or are you taking initiative into building your beliefs and helping yourself along the way to feel good? But it's also like one of those things where it's like, sometimes you just get that gut reaction, right? And it's like, oh crap, like he stepped on my shoe, I want to stab him in the neck. But hopefully not like that. But then that's fine, not to have that kind of thought, but like, it's fine to have that jump reaction, right? But it's all about bringing you back to neutral and going back to positive, right? Okay, so a big thing that I do and my channel is about is following your fun. And I think appreciation and gratitude really get you there. There's something about being in the moment that is very magical. Things kind of tend to line up, and when you're having fun, things kind of fall into place, and it's kind of like everything's working out. Have you guys had that kind of feeling before? When you're like kind of on a roll, yeah? And okay, so lastly, it's very cliche, but it's really about the journey, not the destination. And I mean, I just said that, but it probably flew over 50% of your guys' heads, right? So those goals that we have are very short-lived. And you want to think about, like, why do you want all these things that you want, right? Why? Somebody just say something.
Success.
What?
Success.
Success, okay. Maybe to like feel, maybe you're thinking like it'll make you feel happier in the having of it, right? So you're gonna get that feeling, right? And it's gonna be a boom, like just like that. You'll have it for a little bit, it'll be great, but the most important part, the things that you guys are gonna look back on are going to be the memories of you getting there. So when you look back on it, do you want to look back on like, oh man, I struggled for like 12 years and it took me here, but I got it, but it was a hardship and I hated the whole way? Or do you want to go back on, man, I made the best out of every situation and this was such a roller coaster, and life's a roller coaster of emotions all the time, but on the most part it was fun and I had a lot of fun and I had made so many amazing friends and things like that. So it's not about how fast you get there, it ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah. So unfortunately, mental health and mentality is not a college degree. It's something that you're gonna have to consistently practice, and there's gonna be times where you crash, and that's okay. Life's constantly going to be up and down, so if you fall, just be nice to yourself, give yourself a break, and brush it off, and when the time's right, watch some of my YouTube videos. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Cause we came too far to give up. We can take our time to start up new. We'll be dancing through the darkness as long as we're